From the glitz of winning 3 Grammy Awards and 2 MTV Video Music Awards to facing the grim consequences of Department of Homeland Security investigations, this is all you need to know about Diddy's Homes raid and sex trafficking case. He's been hit with some heavy allegations lately, including sexual assault and sex trafficking. And now, the feds are in on the action, raiding a bunch of properties connected to P. Diddy in Miami and Los Angeles. Yep, you heard that right.
Homeland Security investigations team seen descending on his multi-million-dollar home in Los Angeles, going room to room and hauling away boxes. Across the country, more investigators swarmed the rapper's property in a wealthy section of Miami.
Homeland Security investigations, with a little help from local cops, stormed in and shook things up big time. It's a major move in the ongoing drama between the rapper and music bigwig. Everyone's holding their breath, waiting to see what comes next for P. Diddy and his whole situation. So, here's the scoop on what went down during those raids. The feds, led by Homeland Security investigations, didn't mess around. They hit up properties in both Miami and Los Angeles, armed with search warrants from the Southern District of New York. Yeah, they weren't messing around. It's serious stuff. ABC News got the inside track, reporting that the raids were part of an ongoing investigation. They teamed up with HSI from New York, Los Angeles, and even Miami, along with local law enforcement buds, to get the job done. And it wasn't just a casual visit. They were looking into some heavy allegations, like human trafficking, sexual assault, and even illegal drug and gun stuff. NBC News spilled the beans that they'd already talked to a few people in New York, and more interviews were in the works. Talk about intense. But hold up, before you jump to conclusions, let's be clear. We don't know if P. Diddy himself is in the hot seat just yet. At least, not officially. There's been no word on his detention or arrest, and we're not even sure if he's in the country right now. Some folks say they saw him at the Miami airport, but who knows? His private jet might have jetted off to some far-flung Caribbean island for all we know. Alright, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. P. Diddy hasn't exactly been flying under the radar lately. No, he's been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. We're talking serious allegations here. Stuff like sexual assault, sex trafficking, and more. It's heavy stuff, and it's been swirling around him for a while now. Now, we're not saying these lawsuits and accusations are directly linked to the raids. But let's face it, they're definitely part of the same storm cloud. P. Diddy's been facing legal battles left and right, with lawsuits piling up against him, his family, his associates, you name it. From sex trafficking to harassment to firearm possession, it's a laundry list of trouble. But here's the thing, we can't jump to conclusions. Just because there are lawsuits flying around doesn't mean P. Diddy's automatically guilty of anything. Nah, he's innocent until proven guilty, remember? Still, it's hard to ignore the smoke when there's this much fire around. And with the raids happening now, it's like pouring gasoline on the flames. People are drawing comparisons left and right too. Some are saying P. Diddy is the Jeffrey Epstein of the hip-hop world. Others are calling his associates the Ghislaine Maxwell of the situation. It's like a real-life crime drama unfolding before our eyes. So yeah, when you put it all together, it's not exactly surprising that the feds decided to swoop in. With all this drama swirling around, something had to give. And now, with the raids making headlines, it looks like things are about to get even more intense. Now that we've got the lowdown on the raids, let's dig into what it all means. First off, timing is everything, right? So why did the feds choose now to bust in? Well, it's all about strategy, my friend. When you're dealing with a big investigation like this, you gotta move fast to preserve evidence. That's why they didn't waste any time. They hit up those properties in Miami and LA simultaneously, guns blazing, figuratively speaking, of course. But here's the thing, it's not just about catching the bad guys. It's about making sure they can't cover their tracks. You see, if the feds waited too long, there's a good chance evidence could have disappeared faster than a plate of hotcakes at brunch. And trust me, you don't want to mess around with evidence tampering. It can make or break a case. Think of it like this. You've got a leaky faucet in your kitchen. Sure, you could wait until it turns into a full-blown flood before you call the plumber. But by then, you're knee-deep in water and your cabinets are floating away. Same deal with the feds. They saw that faucet dripping and decided to fix it before things got out of hand. Now, some folks might be wondering why the feds didn't just slap the cuffs on P. Diddy right then and there. I mean, if they had enough evidence for a raid, why not just arrest the guy? Well, it's not that simple. See, in cases like this, it's all about gathering as much intel as possible. They want to build a rock-solid case before they make any moves. And sometimes, that means biding your time and playing your cards right. Plus, you gotta think about safety too. These raids ain't no walk in the park. You're talking about armed agents storming into potentially dangerous situations. It's like a high-stakes game of chess, with lives on the line. So yeah, they might have detained a few people during the raids, but it's all in the name of keeping everyone safe. Bottom line, these raids ain't just about making a splash in the headlines. They're about sending a message. Nobody's above the law, no matter how famous you are. And with P. Diddy's history of controversy, it's safe to say this ain't the last we'll hear of it. Alright, let's talk about what happens next. So, with these raids making headlines, you can bet there's gonna be some serious legal fallout. First off, we gotta ask, what's P. Diddy's next move? Is he gonna lawyer up and fight these allegations tooth and nail? Or is he gonna lay low and hope it all blows over? Tough call, for sure. But here's the thing, the clock's ticking. If the feds have enough evidence to bring charges, they're gonna do it. And let's be real, sex trafficking ain't no small potatoes. If P. Diddy ends up in the crosshairs of a federal case, he could be looking at some serious time behind bars. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Extradition. Say P. Diddy's off sipping cocktails on some tropical island when the feds come knocking. Can they haul him back to the US to face the music? Well, it depends on where he's hiding out. Some countries have extradition treaties with the US, while others couldn't care less. So yeah, it's a bit of a wild card. Meanwhile, the reactions are pouring in fast and furious. You've got celebs like 50 Cent weighing in on Instagram, speculating about what it all means. And let's not forget about P. Diddy's legal team. They're probably burning the midnight oil right about now, trying to figure out their next move. But here's the thing that's got everyone talking. Those civil lawsuits. See, they might not be directly connected to the raids, but they could still play a big role in the legal drama. If P. Diddy's ex-girlfriend or any of those other plaintiffs provided evidence of wrongdoing, that could be a game changer. It's like adding fuel to the fire. And let's not forget about the potential for more arrests. If the feds uncover evidence of a larger sex trafficking operation, they're gonna cast a wide net. That means anyone connected to P. Diddy could be fair game. So yeah, it's a tense situation all around. In the end, it's anyone's guess how this whole thing's gonna play out. But one thing's for sure, P. Diddy's got a bumpy road ahead of him. Whether he comes out on top or crashes and burns remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, this ain't the last we'll hear of it. Strap in, folks. It's gonna be a wild ride. And there you have it, folks. The whole shebang. From the raids to the legal fallout. It's been a roller coaster ride from start to finish. But what's next for P. Diddy? Only time will tell. One thing's for sure. This ain't your average celebrity scandal. We're talking serious allegations here. Ones that could change the course of P. Diddy's life forever. Will he fight tooth and nail to clear his name? Or will he go down swinging? As for us, we'll be keeping a close eye on the situation. Because let's face it, this story ain't over yet. So stay tuned. Folks, there's bound to be more twists and turns ahead. In the meantime, we want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Drop us a comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates. Until next time, stay safe and stay tuned.